What's up, Laker fans? The Lakers have gone through a new set of bigs every season of the LeBron and AD era, and finding stability here is one of the roster's most pressing needs. In this video, we take a closer look at potential trade targets, how much those players might cost, and other factors the Lakers might consider. Before we get to those players, let's talk about who the Lakers would be trading in these sorts of scenarios. The team is right up against the second apron, so they'll need to send out as much salary as they take back. I'm not a cap guy, but I think this is roughly accurate. If a player makes more than $17.8 million or so, Rui or D'Lo would have to be the main salary going out. If they make less than that, Gabe or Vando could be the base of a package, and you could get up to about that number if you included JHS and Wood. In the higher salary tier, I don't think the Lakers can trade D'Lo for a 5, because it leaves a huge hole at the 1 then if you do. Doing that would put a much heavier ball handling and shot creation burden on both LeBron and Austin, and I think that's a mistake. So that's why, for the purposes of this video, I'm assuming that if the Lakers trade for a high-priced frontcourt player, they'd be sending one out. That means it would likely be Rui as the main player going out for any frontcourt player who makes more than $17.8 million. For players making under that amount, you can get there with Gabe as the main salary, although teams will probably ask for Vando. So with that understanding, let's take a look at some potential targets for the Lakers at the 5. A key standard for me when determining whether or not the Lakers should trade for a big man is this: can that player play at the same time as LeBron and AD? Brook Lopez is an interesting case study on this idea. On one hand, he's exactly what we've been looking for as a big-bodied 5 that's difficult to outmuscle and can space the floor on the other end. The Lakers had this in Marc Gasol in 2021, and that was an excellent pairing during the regular season. So to me, it's a question of, where's LeBron and AD's foot speed at 4 years later? Could they still work alongside a slow-footed 5? I can see it in some matchups, but I do think that anything that increases how much LeBron and AD have to sprint over the course of 82 is going in the wrong direction.
You know, Brook Lopez didn't want a piece of it, so he says, let me get out of there.
Lopez would be great off the bench in AD-only units or LeBron-only units, but should the Lakers really be trading for a 36-year-old player who can't play much with both of your stars at the same time? That said, Lopez's game holds up in the playoffs. You'd be adding a proven, high-level role player at a position of need, and that's worth a lot. Lopez hedging on screens and AD on the backline, combined with pressure on the ball, would provide some exceptionally high-level defense, while spacing the floor on the other end. But Rui is 26 and has also been very good alongside LeBron and AD. He runs the floor well and eases the burden on the stars to do that instead of exacerbating it. Would you trade a 26-year-old Rui for a 36-year-old Lopez who's already begun to decline? And all that hinges on Milwaukee's opinion of Rui in the first place, and Rui may not be the type of player they're looking to add, or they could be looking for draft compensation, and I wouldn't want to trade Rui and a first for Lopez. And it's not like the Bucks have to trade him at all. He's been a key piece for their team for years. Wendell Carter Jr. is similar to Lopez in that he's a big-bodied 5 who can space the floor, while being much younger and a better athlete. But where he's not the same is as a rim protector. Carter can hold his ground and not get trucked by guys like Sabonis, and that's definitely a need for the Lakers. But he's not going to add the type of shot blocking and rim protection of a Lopez. And much more importantly, he's not nearly as durable. He's missed at least 20 games every season of his career, and has averaged 30 missed games per season over his 6-year career. I do like his fit with the Lakers, but his lack of availability has to be factored in. But he's a good player who checks a lot of boxes when he's healthy. He can bang with more physical 5s, reducing the need for AD to do that, has grabbed 8.5 rebounds per game over the course of his career, and shoots in the low to mid-30s from 3. He's a solid overall player and just 25 years old. He also makes about 12 a year, meaning he could be acquired with a Gabe or Vando package rather than at Rui's salary, although a Rui package would still be a possibility. But from Orlando's perspective, I don't see why they'd trade their starting center for a 4th defensive guard in Gabe plus a first. I also don't think that Rui suits their needs a ton. Boncaro starts at the 4, and they pay Jonathan Isaac $25 million a year to be their backup 4 and small ball 5. I'd be surprised if they were looking to add another significant contract to that mix. So I think Orlando would probably covet Vando the most amongst our players. Would you do a Vando for Carter deal? I like Carter, but I wouldn't. I think the best version of this year's Lakers team is one that's great on defense, and that team probably has Vando on it. I view Clint, Capela, and Jakob Poeltl through a similar lens as Lopez, although I don't value them quite as highly because they aren't floor spacers. Both make salaries that would require Rui to go out, and would represent an upgrade on defense and on the boards, but a significant downgrade on offense, and I don't think they could play much alongside both LeBron and AD at the same time. So while I like both players, I think $20 million is too much to give to a player who really can't close alongside LeBron and AD. I'd rather just keep Rui and address the 5 spot in another way. Walker Kessler is a tremendous rim protector, although not the fastest guy either. If Kessler were available for only 1 first, I do think he's worth that, but I'd be surprised if he were. Right now, we're watching AD wreck shop alongside Bam Adebayo for Team USA. We've talked so much about a big bruising 5 to play alongside AD, but another archetype is a defensive 5 who can guard a bit on the perimeter and can also protect the rim, similar to Bam. And this is why the idea of Robert Williams III is so tantalizing. He and AD would be absolutely oppressive together on defense, and that would be compounded by Vando and LeBron when he turns it up. But how good he is has never been the issue. He has an extensive injury history where you can make a compelling case that trading a first for him would be irresponsible under the Lakers' current circumstances. It's funny, at the beginning of this video, I would have made that argument too, but in really digging through the options, he became more of a viable candidate to me. The risk is obvious and quite possibly fatal, but the Lakers should be pursuing a title team and are currently on the outside looking in. So if they can acquire a player who can elevate them to a different tier on either end of the floor, I really think they should do that. But obviously none of that matters if he can't play. I'm intrigued by Williams, but certainly understand why the team might not do it. That then puts the Lakers into the territory of players that you really wouldn't consider giving up a first-round pick for, but can still help. Day'Ron Sharpe is my favorite player in this tier. At 6'11", 265 pounds, he's a big guy with a great motor. He's a monster rebounder, averaging over 15 rebounds per 36 minutes, runs the floor well, and can block some shots. Sharpe can also pass a bit. I believe Lakers 5s will be asked to make reads at the top of the key a lot this year, and Sharpe can do that. Duop Reath is more of an offensive option, but has enough size and motor to work with on the other end. He's a big guy who can space the floor and be a hedging 5 while AD dominates as a backline defender. Nick Richards brings size, motor, and good athleticism to the table, and would be particularly helpful on the boards. These are just a few backup bigs who've caught my eye, and this is not meant to be an extensive list. Let me know in the comments if there's a big man that you think is a hidden gem that's somewhere else around the league. I think the Lakers would like to upgrade at the backup 5 spot, but the market is complex, and there's a good chance that they start the season with both Wood and Hayes there. That'll be the first time they have the same set of bigs for 2 straight seasons in the LeBron and AD era, but I think they need to avoid that if they can. I think they need to pick between Hayes or Wood and get a better defensive player or rebounder in the other spot. That'll do it for this one. If you'd like to support the work that I do, you can do so on the Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and Venmo links below. You can also find me on Playback this season. I'm still setting that up and figuring it out, but the plan for me is to call Laker games there and sync that up with YouTube. Thank you for all of your support, and I'm excited about the year to come. I'll catch you guys next time.